Well, that absolutely sucked. Welcome in to the PHNX D-backs podcast right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known, or soon to be, once again known, as your mayor of PHNX. Shane, I'm coming for my sash. This man next to me that's nodding his head no, he's still filled with electricity. It's Mr. Electric himself, Shawn DePaz.
Nope.
He's just not happy. No. He's not a happy guy.
Nope.
And nobody really should be as a Diamondbacks fan after watching them absolutely get outclassed tonight by the Los Angeles Dodgers. They got beat in every facet of the game tonight. They lose by a score of 9-1. And as far as we are concerned, it might have well been 90-1 with the way that this game went. But one thing I do want to say is that Elise hit the nail on the head with her comment that started off the show, which said Zach and Merrill having arguably their worst starts of the season on consecutive nights was something I did not see coming. The offense tonight against Kershaw was not surprising. And you're right.
Yeah.
It really is the story of the starting pitching in this one, and the fact that the Diamondbacks got just such terrible outings from the two guys that they could typically rely on. I mean, this was... in a way, this series was the reason why we saw Merrill Kelly get moved to essentially the 2 slot in their starting rotation, was because the Diamondbacks wanted to have their best 1-2 punch going into this series against the Dodgers. Yesterday's game was, again, arguably one of Zach Gallen's worst. Today's game, arguably one of Merrill Kelly's worst. And I think the only thing that's, I guess, not surprising there is it's against a red-hot Dodger team that has been doing this to everybody. So it's like, from that perspective, maybe it's just the opponent. Maybe it's just a reminder that right now the Diamondbacks are not on the same level as the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear a word you just said, because Maria is in the comments, and we love you, Maria, because we literally were just talking about how we appreciate your viewership. But
I'm skeptical.
But the thumbs up, Corbin hitting a homer is great, though. Don't patronize me, Maria.
Yeah, he's upset. He's upset.
Tell us we're dog shit. I'd much rather that than being like, oh, buddy, at least you got the homer, though. Yeah.
He kind of... we suspect Maria might be Mo in disguise. We don't know for sure.
No, but seriously, I mean, this is like... It doesn't matter. Obviously, it sucks because this team is in a wild card race, right? And every game is important. And so, and especially, I think everyone still has a very tenuous relationship with the Diamondbacks at like being a good team because of the dark times. And so I think every time they lose, especially if they lose bad, there's a slight kind of like you get war flashbacks. You're like, oh boy, I hope this isn't is this what this team is? And so that sucks. But anytime you get your ass kicked by the Dodgers, it just really, really sucks. Like, it doesn't matter what the context is. When you lose like this to a team like the Dodgers, it is just not. It's just, it doesn't make you enjoy baseball. Like, I wasn't enjoying the sport much tonight. I didn't care.
No.
Like, I wasn't having any fun.
No, we wanted to start this show halfway through.
Yeah, I think in the 6th we were mentioning it.
Yeah, Jesse Friedman, though, he is in Los Angeles. He'll be coming to us live from Dodger Stadium here in a little bit. And because of MLB broadcasting rights, we have to wait so long for Jesse to be able to join us from the stadium. We're not going to send him all the way to California and have me worry about smoke detectors not having batteries in them and him drinking enough water just to not have him on the show.
He refused to do it from a bathroom.
We wanted him to go out to his car. We said, can you find a phone booth?
He wasn't committed.
He didn't even try to find a bathroom.
Or maybe you could argue that he was more committed because he actually wanted to watch the rest of the game.
I don't know who was less committed, though, whether it was Jesse Friedman or Merrill Kelly. Because Merrill Kelly
was committed to the suck.
Yeah. I mean, you know what's wild is Merrill Kelly almost got out of the first inning without giving up a run. It was a double play situation.
How it would go if he had...
Like it's like we went into an alternate reality at that point, right? Off. Yeah, that's where we went into the darkest timeline for tonight's game. Merrill Kelly, very close play at first base for a double play to get out of the inning. Instead, Max Muncy is safe. The Dodgers go on to score 3 runs in that inning, and those 3 runs alone were enough to get past the Diamondbacks tonight. They didn't need to pile on and add 6 extra runs on top of that, but they did. But Merrill Kelly, flat out terrible tonight. 12 hits allowed. He went 5 innings, gave up 7 earned runs, walked 3, struck out 1.
I mean, this team is a a complete joke if our two starting pitchers are not starting pitching, if they're not doing the thing.
Yeah,
like if Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen are not being Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen, this team is not dangerous in the slightest.
Correct.
And I think obviously Gallen, is the Cy Young guy, but I think, and you kind of mentioned this earlier when we were watching the game, or maybe it was David, I forget, but Merrill Kelly, like you don't see this from Merrill Kelly.
No.
Like Zach Gallen, I think had gotten accustomed to like some of his starts not being the prettiest, even if they ultimately are good. Like him having a bad outing, I don't think was came completely out of left field.
Yeah.
We had seen him be vulnerable, especially on the road this season, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
You hadn't really seen that from Merrill Kelly. Obviously, he had got hurt and he was out for a while and he dealt with the different injuries and stuff like that. But from a performance perspective, he's the mainstay.
Yeah.
He's always kind of good. And even, maybe he'll give up 3 runs or something, but he's still going to go 6-7. He's still going to be ultimately a solid start. He's the mainstay.
It felt
didn't happen tonight.
It felt like after that 3-run first inning that he was going to get things back on track.
After that, it didn't feel like the game was out of hand by any means because it's Merrill Kelly.
Right.
But this was not a Merrill Kelly start. He was bad through and through.
He really was. He just was ineffective.
That can't happen with this team.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, the Zach Gallen Merrill Kelly thing back to back, right? Zach Gallen, even when you look at the loss yesterday for Zach Gallen, he was not good in the game in game 1. But a big part of that was that he gave up a lot of home runs. Zach Gallen gave up more home runs in that first start than I think he did in the first half of his season. But he gives up 4 home runs, which is a career high. But he really struggled in that game. And after 5 innings, he had only given up 3 earned, right? And that's really where I guess you could question Torrey's management of the Zach Gallen outing, because he, much like Merrill Kelly tonight, he just didn't have it. And yet he had still limited the damage like Gallen can do to only giving up 3 runs. And he comes back out in that 6th inning and he gives up 3 more, and he just was completely ineffective from that point on. He got 1 more out.
I know Mo was being a troll, and when he brings this up, and he mentions how the Dodgers or Merrill Kelly is the only pitcher to ever start 15 games against the Dodgers, never win a game. He is 0-11, right? But genuinely, I wonder how much, at a point where you're 0-10 in 14 starts against a division rival, the team that this team and a fan base hates the most. That's got to get in your head. I feel like that's got to have some kind of mental effect, or at least the potential for it to be there, or to have a mental effect is certainly there. So I'm curious if this was a very uncharacteristic Merrill Kelly outing, right? And I'm curious how much of the fact that it was in Los Angeles against the Dodgers, how much that in particular, outside of the fact that the Dodgers are just a really good offensive team, how much that mattered. That's also the thing. They've got 2 MVP candidates. They're going to do this to a lot of. They're this team should win the World Series.
The Braves also have 2 MVP candidates.
Those 2 teams should meet in the NLCS, and they should do what the Dodgers did to the Diamondbacks tonight every single day against every single other team in Major League Baseball, because their lineups are that good.
Yeah.
And they don't, because that's how
fair.
baseball works.
Right.
But
but they can turn it on this against any team. And,
I mean, look at
like Mo said,
Betts has done recently.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Mookie Betts single. And we didn't even think that was a chance, right? I mean, again, I don't mean to go back, but it was kind of a laughable bet when I said, hey, Ronald Acuna is a runaway favorite. They actually have the ability to take the field.
You did. I laughed in your face.
And I understand it, but it's like one of those situations where it's really hard sometimes for one guy to hold on to it when you're giving me the option of the field and everybody else. And
there's so much can change, right?
There's so much can change, right? Just an injury could impact that in a huge way, right? Not to say I'm wishing that upon him, but just that. But
motherfuckers stormed the field and they didn't. I don't think they didn't attack him necessarily. Can we talk about it right now?
Okay, let's talk about it.
It was one of the weirder things that I've ever seen happen on a baseball field. We were talking about this earlier.
For those of you that are unfamiliar, in the middle of a game, not 1 but 2 fans.
We didn't plan on talking about this.
Ran up to Ronald Acuna Jr.
It was so weird.
And what did they do? They hugged him, essentially, right?
What did they do? Guy ran out and he hugged Acuna, and as Damon and I were talking about earlier, you see that in soccer, on not a frequent basis, but it's something you've seen before, where fans will run out and they really want to meet the star,
player. Yeah.
And obviously they're going to get tackled by security and escorted off or whatever. They're aware of that. They're not expecting a warm welcome. But
There's a
normally,
risk-reward situation.
It's a generally pretty kind of a genuine interaction. They want the hug. They go without much trouble, whatever. So this guy goes up and he hugs Acuna. Acuna seems to like hug him back. Like it seems like a relatively tame situation.
Then a security
guards come up
and also hugs him
and kind of hugs him by like he grabbed. Yeah, well that's the thing I didn't understand. The security guard came up and like hugged them both, right?
Yeah,
like he was holding them together.
Like it was like he was
trying to control
sandwich.
the situation. Yeah. And then another security guard comes up and grabs the quote unquote attacker.
The attacker
by like the
we'll call
waist,
him the attacker.
but
the
like
assailant.
Falls to the ground as he do it, so his legs are like limp behind him as he's holding on to this guy's waist and like kind of getting pulled. And then out of nowhere, fan number 2 comes in, and I don't know if those two people were connected.
This is where shit gets weird.
This is where it gets weird. I don't know if those two were connected. I don't know if there was some greater plot here, like to get real conspiracy theory. I don't know if the first guy's job was to hold him down while the other guy came in and did the damage. Like I don't know if there was
felt that way.
Or my other theory. Yeah, it did feel that way. My other theory was that a guy, like I had mentioned again to Damon earlier. Damon and I talk a lot.
They do. They so much all the time.
I mentioned earlier, like, if it was a kind of thing where this one fan goes out there, sees that, gets a hug from Acuna, and this other guy's like, oh, Acuna's giving out hugs, like, let's go.
Yeah.
And he joins. Obviously, that guy never makes it to Acuna.
Didn't
well, he kind of does. But the thing that's weird about it is everyone's like, oh, Acuna fell to the ground. The only reason Acuna fell to the ground is because the security guard, whose legs are limp, holding onto the first guy's waist behind him, tabletops Ronald Acuna. The other guy comes in, he tries to back up, and the security guard's like laying on the ground, and so Acuna trips over him because he's being weird. It was odd as shit. Also, as motherfuckers are getting shot in the stadium in Chicago, it's a crazy time to be doing baseball.
What was really weird to me was the way they were carrying the second guy out.
Yeah, like he was flailing like crazy.
He was rabid.
It was wild.
Like that second guy made this whole situation so much weirder because I don't understand. It was a different energy than the rest of the situation.
At first, it was like wholesome.
If that guy had gone out there and hugged Acuna, and those 3 guys come in, they pick him up, they take him away. It's like, oh, look at there's no reports about Acuna getting attacked like there was, which is absurd, by the way. He was not attacked. There was certainly an incident, but he wasn't attacked. Make it sound like someone came in like on Tanya Harding bullshit.
More importantly, I want to throw some shade at the Colorado Rockies security guards because that was a fairly
dog shit.
That was a fair, like, you're supposed to protect people, right? You understand that concept? When, like, you've been training. Thank you. Give me that music. You've been training your whole life for this moment. In most cases, you go how many fucking games without getting a chance to tackle some fucking rube coming out of the stands? You had your chance and you just fucking blew it. Like, what are you waiting for? What were you doing? Why not? This is your chance. You've been, like, you've supposedly, as a security guard, you don't have a lot to do. You're bored. You're waiting for some action. Here's your action, pal. You've dropped the ball.
Also, storming doesn't usually happen like in between innings when security guards are on the field surrounding the field of play. The fuck? You fell asleep at the wheel? What are we doing there? Like, you're on the field already. You're creating like a force field essentially, and you're just letting these guys just scurry onto the field, and then you're going and you're fucking grabbing your leg tackling, arm tackling guys at the waist, like me playing backfield or backyard football in high school because I was weak and couldn't fucking tackle, so I just tried to grab people and trip them basically. Right. And then he ended up tabletopping the best player in baseball.
Yeah. Like, you've set such a bad precedent now. If I want to hug Shohei Ohtani, I just need to buy tickets to a Rockies-Angels game. Trash.
And I'm more athletic than them motherfuckers. You're not catching me.
Yeah, that's true. Since we're just angry, when did we become best friends with the Dodgers? Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
When did we all become best friends with the goddamn Dodgers,
play the music again and go on a rant.
Yeah, you talked about the goddamn rivalry. There is no rivalry here. The Dodgers don't consider us a rival. They have bigger fish to fry. They have the Houston Astros. They have the Braves. They have actual teams that they have a rivalry with.
The Boston Red Sox.
Not us. Not with us. But you know what? When did we become best friends with them? When we have Mookie Betts coming over here?
Fucking big grab ass on second base, Capella.
Coming over here, feeling his muscle. I thought it was adorable. Yet David got me all fired up about it when I came in here. I was like, did you see when Cattell did that 117-mile laser? And then Mookie had and Damon, our producer, is not having any of it.
It just not having any sick. Of it. I mean, this is supposed to be our most hated rival, and everything you see in terms of contact between the two teams is lovey-dovey grab-ass bullshit.
Gallen and Corbin on Mookie's podcast.
It's important that I am not throwing an ounce of shade at Mookie Betts or anyone on the Los Angeles Dodgers.
No, because
you're the best. You're the best team, one of the best teams in the National League.
And I can't hate them.
And you don't. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
We're the little. They don't give a shit about the Arizona Diamondbacks. So go be chummy. You're about to win an MVP. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You're Ketel Marte. You're the rest of the Arizona Diamondbacks. You got to know what this rivalry means to Diamondbacks fans. You can't be out here with a smile on your face while you're getting your ass kicked.
Christian Walker doing an interview where he's praising Clayton Kershaw. Unacceptable. We want you talking, once again, as the Whopper song says, about you being his father, not about respecting him. This isn't about respect. You can tip your cap at the end of the career. But for now, I want you to hate each other. I want you to hate each other with the fuel of 1,000 suns. David, do you have anything to add?
Just the whole Clayton Kershaw thing with Christian Walker. Oh, he's so good. Clayton's awesome.
You own him.
Why don't we? I can't wait to go over to Clayton's house and have a nice family dinner with his kids and his family. It's ridiculous.
That's another thing. You own that motherfucker. Why are you looking for reasons to praise them? That team is so goddamn good. You don't need to create bullshit. You own Clayton Kershaw. Don't start praising him like he's some great pitcher, because he is. But as far as you're concerned, he's fucking not. Because yet again, you own the motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, dude.
I'm hot now. I'm hot.
So am I.
I mean that in a literal. I'm hot. I'm at 11. I'm in the red.
I'm heated and I am toasty.
But we did have one man who
Pedro knows what's going on.
Yeah, Pedro. King Steak. Let's give our King Steak out. I know what you're going to say. Does anyone deserve it? Of course someone deserves it. It's Corbin Carroll.
Bombs.
Corbin Carroll absolutely deserves it. Corbin Carroll has been incredible for this team lately, and he continues to be incredible. In his last 9 games, Corbin Carroll is hitting 15 for 33. 15 for 33. Sounds pretty good.
Remember when people were being like, are we sure Corbin's going to win the Rookie of the Year?
As long as
Maria
the
comes in the chat, Outman deserves more credit. And then there's a bunch of these fucking hillbillies in the backwoods of Kentucky that are Reds fans being like, Ellie De La Cruz and Matt McClain.
Ellie De La Cruz
fuck yourself. Who?
Ellie De La Cruz isn't even the best rookie on his own team.
Bum.
Right? I mean, he's not even the second best rookie on his own team, but that's the truth.
Get out of here. My Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Sorry to call you out again, Maria.
Yeah. We do have more bad news. Did we by chance have the updated wild card standings? Because let's rip the Band-Aid off.
John's making a good point, by the way. Yeah. You don't see Tommy Pham smiling. That motherfucker's here to win
Tommy
games.
He's
not
Tommy
out here
Pham
smiling.
he doesn't smile.
I hope he does rip the clubhouse on that subject.
We are looking at the current wild card race.
Great picture.
And now what we have is the Phillies with a 5-game now lead on the final spot. They continue to win. Cubs 1-game lead on the final spot. Now in the final spot for the wild card is the San Francisco Giants, 69 and 63. The D-backs fall a half a game out of the hunt at 69 and 64, followed by the Reds at 68 and 66, and the Marlins at 500 at 66 and 66. So this sucks, and it really doesn't mean much. We already kind of chalked up, I think, both the Rangers series and this Dodgers series as potential sweeps.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, again,
almost playing with house money to a certain extent based on expectations.
And really, it's not about beating the Dodgers, right?
Yeah, again.
This is our division now. This is our division for the rest of the season, and the Diamondbacks just need to find a way to beat these teams that they still have games against. Yeah. That's the important part here is their series with the Giants. They have a lot of games against the Cubs. And they even, I think, the biggest thing, they have some winnable series in there, but they still have some difficult, games to play ahead. So
you know who I would really want on this Diamondbacks team? Dansby motherfucking Swanson. That'd be awesome. It'd be really cool if they could figure out a way to get him to be a part of this organization.
Or something.
That'd be awesome. Did you know of the 4 shortstops that got the big contracts in the offseason? He has got the cheapest and is leading in WAR and OPS over Trey Turner. Who else? Who are the other big shortstops that signed? There's Xander Bogaerts, and there's a third that I'm blanking on, but there was 4 of them. I saw a graphic of it earlier because I was watching the Cubs game was on TBS. And he's like, it'd be really awesome to have that guy. Yeah. The Cubbies, They're coming. Like at this point, it's a battle here. For the. They are here. Yeah, I mean they're coming. They're coming for the Central.
Yeah.
To me, this is a competition for that last spot, and as long as they are closer to that last spot than they are to the team behind them, I guess I'll be okay.
Yeah.
But like I'll feel good, right? I don't want to drop any further than being that first spot out. Especially at this point, you took care of business against the Reds. You got a 1.5 game lead.
You're giving Thunderbolt extra reasons to be upset, and he doesn't need extra reasons to be upset. But I will say that the Diamondbacks, that this is rough. But again, much like we've said in the past, there's ups and downs this season, and right now might be a down, but they're not out of it. They're still playing meaningful games, and they are going to play meaningful games throughout the entire month of September. So make sure to stay engaged with
I feel like I need to clarify, because one thing I'm not going to be able to live with is people thinking I'm an idiot when I'm not. I do know that they drafted Dansby Swanson. Yes. I want to make that clear. I was making a joke. I know they drafted Dansby Swanson.
It wasn't a good joke. It was just a hurtful joke.
I thought it was an okay joke.
This is like when Jesse says LOL in our group chat, and Damon says, Jesse, I failed to find the humor in this.
There's no joke. But half the time, Jesse's not making a joke. He's just being like, this is
funny. Jesse probably thought tonight was funny.
He did. He's like, this is hilarious. No, it's not, Jesse. Anyway. One way to make baseball more fun is by gambling on it over at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And of course, it's this time of the year, folks. So not only do you have baseball, but you have everything. Everything is coming back. Football is back. Basketball and hockey will be back before we know it. And we'll have the playoffs for MLB all in full swing. So, but you've waited all year for this, and finally the time has come. College football is back, like I said. NFL is back, and so are the traditions. Tailgates, playing football early in the morning unnecessarily. Here in Arizona, I would say in the cold weather, but it doesn't get very cold.
Apparently, reportedly, there's chance of rain Thursday night for the ASU football
I
game.
saw non-triple digits for tomorrow, and I can't tell you how excited. I might wear a hoodie because it's 94 degrees, but we'll see. Also, what's back is great offers from the DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football bet. And there are a ton to be had, of course. My favorite thing is to kind of do that thing with my daughter where I ask her about what she thinks these two teams are just based on their logos.
Oh, nice.
The season schedule announcements. And I have found that this is resulting in hilarious things with my daughter because
we should do that.
Next
year. Yeah, for for a schedule for next schedule that gets released by a team, we should bring your daughter.
Yeah, we'll bring my daughter in because she knows nothing about sports.
Who is this?
So it'll be hilarious.
It'd be like the week 1 for the Arizona Cardinals.
the fireman.
The W's.
She called somebody the fireman, and I laughed.
If you show her
I was like, why don't we have a team called the Firemen? That is a fucking dope name.
True, that is
the Firemen.
The firefighters, dog. That goes crazy.
That's hard.
That goes crazy, especially here. Yeah. We have a history with firefighters.
That's right. That's right.
So some.
Well, it's like what was it? The Hot Shots, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Hot Shots. Yeah. But anyway. Show her the Washington Commanders.
Oh,
just W.
Just the W. See how she interprets that one. Yeah. Kick off the season with my daughter and with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now and use code PHNX. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football bet. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code PHNX. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net in partnership with Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. All games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. State-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.com. Sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. And also, baseball's back. Not back, but baseball playoff season is almost here. Diamondbacks are going to be there. Fingers crossed. And if you want to get those tickets, but you don't want to really commit to them when that availability comes out, best place to grab your tickets last minute is Game Time. So if you get that FOMO, you miss out. You can get those tickets for sporting events. You can get it for concerts. I just received a last minute ticket to Metallica this weekend. So I'm going to that. Do I like Metallica? I like Metallica. Do I like Metallica enough to pay Metallica prices? Absolutely not. But you can get yourself a deal over at Game Time. So make sure to check that out. Last minute, make sure you'll save big. It's the fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Dude, B Hatch is in here. I think he's a Giants fan.
Yes.
He's this one hurt. The Seawald 30-pitch ninth inning special daily hurts because it's true.
Oh yeah, no, I don't.
But also, he was trying to bully us for dropping a game to the Reds, as if like teams don't lose to other teams in professional baseball,
especially teams with a winning record.
Another team in the wild card, as if the Giants didn't lose to the Reds earlier this year.
I mean,
like it's not it's just. That's my one thing. Like, I'm all here for talking shit.
We're going to be in the playoffs, because, and you're not. So what the fuck does it matter?
Sorry. Hold on. Don't talk. That's way too bold to talk shit to a Giants fan to say they're not going to be in the playoffs.
I know. But is it an even year? It's an odd year. I'm just saying. All right.
Okay, valid. All
right.
But I'm just saying, you can talk your shit because, like I said, the Seawald 30-pitch ninth inning special, that hits. That is a great fucking diss. You fucking got us.
Cuts me deep. We have some more things to debate because as if we don't have enough stuff to argue about around here.
Yeah.
We argue about bread around this place. So, and don't get this guy started on bagels not being bread because he'll fucking lose his mind. But
I'm more upset about, at this point, the argument being mischaracterized than the argument itself. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, that's fine. But see, you get we have so many arguments that there's levels.
There's levels to this.
But right now, right on gophnx.com, every day this week, you can get our top 25 all-time athletes in Arizona sports ranking that's dropping. This has been a collaboration with us in the office, with other sports personalities around the valley.
Around the state. We got a few people down in Tucson, too.
Yep, that's right. We gave them a little bit of a say in this. But, of course, we're dropping 5 at a time per day this week. We got through the first 5, so 25 through 21, essentially. No Diamondbacks in there. But that's because, of course, just based on the fact the Diamondbacks have delivered the only major championship in this state's history, there should be, of course, a lot of Diamondbacks on this list. And they should be relatively high. So we had our first Diamondback drop today, and that would be at spot number 20. And that individual is none other than the controversial Curt Schilling.
Yeah.
And Curt Schilling is, obviously a huge part of that Diamondbacks team that won the World Series. Yeah. They would not have won it without him and Randy Johnson. That's just facts. But you also have the fact that this man, just while he was here, was completely dominant.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he had 2001 was one of the best pitching seasons. Like, his 2001 was one of the best pitching seasons of all time. Obviously, so was Randy's. But, yeah, like, and I mean, listen, when you bring up Curt Schilling, you got to bring up all the other stuff that comes with him. You'd be remiss not to. I think it's important to point out that these rankings are really just based on what happens on the field. It's a completely different conversation if we're talking about the Hall of Fame, because I think part of the criteria for the Hall of Fame is how you represent yourself and represent the game. And obviously, Curt Schilling has not done that well. And if you disagree with that, go fuck yourself. But as a baseball player, it's undeniable how talented he was. He was one of the best pitchers of all time, and he was obviously instrumental in delivering this team their only major professional sports championship. So it's undeniable that if you're ranking the top 20 athletes to play in Arizona based on what they did on the field and only on the field, he honestly might deserve to be higher if we're doing this just based off performance.
Yeah.
But I get that there's human beings that put this ranking together, and it's ultimately going to be impossible to get people to completely separate what he's done off the field. And you can make the argument that they shouldn't have to because it's absurd. But again, if we're basing this just on what he did on the field, because again, let me make this clear. Fuck Curt Schilling through and through. Fuck that dude. He's a piece of shit, but he was also a great fucking baseball player. And you can't pretend that he wasn't.
And thanks for the ring.
I have a lot of people.
Yeah. Also, thank you for the ring. If you're gonna be a piece of shit, at least give us some.
I have a lot of people that ask me like, what did Curt Schilling do exactly? And I mean, that's for you to look up on your own. But Mo hit it on the head. Curt Schilling, also top 25 bigot of all time.
Yeah.
There's just this thing about Curt Schilling that he just had this inability to stop in his mind, or I guess even in his own words, being truthful about the person he is and the things he says. But that involved him saying a lot of anti-Muslim stuff, retweeting a lot of anti-Muslim stuff, saying transgender things and stuff like that. You know, just at times typical old-fashioned thinking that even if you feel that way, you should probably refrain from saying publicly when you are part of ESPN or part of MLB Network or any of the other stuff, right? But see, Thunderbolt 47 says it's the Baseball Hall of Fame, not the Life Hall of Fame. And I mean, that's the thing is he may be a garbage person with a garbage point of view, but so are a lot of people, right? Let's be honest. There's even other people on this list that you could say things about or nitpick about in their personal character, but that they don't get scrutinized as much as Curt Schilling. I don't know if it's just because Curt Schilling was so defiant about it or so non-apologetic about it, like literally losing jobs and opportunities and just sticking to his guns about how much of a, anti this or anti that kind of person he was. But I feel like Curt Schilling does get penalized quite a bit when it comes to that. And it's not to say he doesn't deserve it, because the opinion about the character of the person is important in these situations. But as far as his performance goes, you have to separate that. And like the weird thing about it, and Shawn brought this up to me when we were talking about this list, is if you're talking about Curt Schilling as the person, then he probably shouldn't even be on this list. But if you're talking about Curt Schilling as the athlete, he should probably be higher.
Yeah.
And the fact is that the character, I think, kind of brings him down to this point.
It is tough. It is kind of a little bit of an average spot, or like I think kind of an average of people who are obviously really leaning heavily into what he did off the field and leaning heavily into what he did on the field. And listen, that's just the real, like, this is just what happens when you do professional sports. Like, there's people who are going to be pieces of shit, and they're also going to be really, really fucking good at the sport.
Correct.
And that was the case with this guy to the nth degree.
Right.
He was the biggest piece of shit and also one of the greatest to ever do it. And again, we are in the business of covering sports. Like, you got to talk about how good he was at the sport.
Yep.
So,
sure.
I think undeniable. I mean, let me ask you this. If we're talking just about based on what he did on the sport, where do you think he should realistically be in a ranking like this?
I personally think he should be in the top 15.
I was going to say top 10,
because of the contributions to that World Series team and the fact that
a top 3 most important player on the only championship winning team in this country or in this city's history. I
mean, he had a sub-3 ERA in an era where that just didn't happen based on the offense that baseball players were putting up. I mean, he led the league in games started for the Diamondbacks. He led the league in innings, 256.2 innings the year that they won the World Series. And so there's just a lot of categories there that he led the league in. He gave up the least amount of home runs in the National League. And I mean, he was just, again, co MVP, got Cy Young votes, All-Star, all that stuff. But whatever. I mean, it's the performance should speak for who the athlete is, especially when you're talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
Our next athlete on the list at number 17,
who again, if we're basing this based on what they did on the field, should be below.
Probably higher. Probably. Well, you say below.
I'm not necessarily lower than where he is, but he should be below Curt Schilling.
Yeah, and that's an interesting take on that. And that, of course, is the beloved Paul Goldschmidt. Paul Goldschmidt comes in at number 17 on our top 25 all-time athletes here at PHNX. 6-time MLB All-Star, 4-time Silver Slugger Award winner, 3 Golden Gloves in his time here with the Diamondbacks. A Hank Aaron Award. He led the league in home runs in 2013. He was
pretty good.
Career number with the Diamondbacks, he slashed 297, 398, 532 with a 930 OPS in 8 seasons. Pretty damn good. And the Diamondbacks traded him away for those guys that who he traded away. He could be considered by far the best draft pick ever in Arizona history as far as value is concerned. He was picked in the 8th round of the 2009 MLB draft with the 246th overall selection. Also, more importantly, he was originally drafted by who? Do you know?
I do not.
The Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
And because he was drafted so late, he opted to go back to, back into the school and then come back in the draft.
He brought the energy we needed tonight.
He really did.
Screw him.
Yeah.
Paul Goldschmidt said, fuck the Dodgers.
Yeah, needed that Erod energy.
I'm a Diamondback.
Yeah, Damon's
no, not even I'm a Diamondback. I'm just not a fucking Dodger.
You know what Paul Goldschmidt wouldn't be doing? Going to fucking Mookie Betts' kid's birthday party this weekend, like the rest of the fucking Diamondbacks are.
Yeah. No, I mean, this guy is obviously a
Damon's hot. Damon is hot.
This guy was a fucking stud. Was for this team. I mean, he was the best player this team had since that World Series team. Since obviously Curt and guys that you can probably reasonably expect to show up on this list later. Also, Pedro mentioned it. Tony Womack does deserve an honorable mention. You're not going to see him on this list, but
I agree.
He definitely.
I still remember. I think it was at NLDS. Man, he was such.
You want to talk about being integral to the only championship in this team's in the city's history, but.
I think the thing that's holding Goldie back from being higher on the list is the performance of the team around him, right?
Yeah, and I think the fact that he is kind of more of a Cardinal now. I know, I think he's done so much, and we kind of had this conversation the other day about. I don't know if it was him.
Get the fuck out.
I know.
Go.
If it was retiring his number or what have you.
I don't need you.
But I think at this point he had such a career outside of his career as a Diamondback that it's. People don't even think of him as a Diamond. Like it's hard to kind of conceptualize just his Diamondbacks career in the entirety of all of the stuff that he's accomplished.
I get what you're saying. Sure.
So I feel like that might go, even though it shouldn't, it might hurt him a little bit in these rankings just because they're like, you're not really. I think there's a certain amount of, and it's hard. It's hard when you have a lot of different people on these rankings because everyone's going to take a unique approach to it. I think the impact on Arizona sports definitely played a role into some of how some of the people voted in this. And I think when you have an impact after Arizona sports, it's hard to think of you as an Arizona athlete. And whether or not that's fair is another conversation. But I don't think I think it ultimately mattered. Yeah.
Maria, that person that's angrily coming after your Dodgers is Damon Dog on Twitter. That's DAWG, in case you wanted to find his Twitter
Also,
handle.
all these Dodgers fans, man. Oh, you guys have no reason why I might not like you guys. Like, seriously, you win the division every fucking year.
We're not going to sit here and pretend.
Here and be like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm not one of the Diamondbacks. Yeah. I don't want to hold the fucking Dodgers' hands.
And like we said, at least I said earlier, I get that it's not a two-way street. You don't have to hate us. We know what this is. You're the big brother. You've got bigger fish to fry, but you are our big fish.
Yeah.
We're going to hate you because you're in the way. And you constantly beat us up.
Yeah.
We don't care about what else you got going on. To us, you're the world.
But you know what's funny is in the last 23
I'm not ashamed
years,
to admit it.
we have the same number of World Series titles. If I could pick this mic up, I'd drop it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes, Maria, you should. That's a pretty good idea, no?
That would make me feel
Maria, you should.
So much
you guys should try sucking.
That's what they want from you, Maria.
Just try being shit. We'll try.
No,
I wouldn't mind.
I want Maria to stay as sweet and wholesome as she is, and I want her to not be pulled down into the muck with you animals. I
would feel
that's
so
exactly
much
what
better.
they want.
Just give it a try, right?
That's exactly what they want.
Just give it a try.
No.
Just see how it works.
No. But we will be talking more about, of course, this PHNX ranks list. Somehow. Did John hack our website? How do you know the next? How do you know where Luis Gonzalez ranks on our list, John? We have to have a talk after the show is over.
What did John say?
But John said that Luis Gonzalez is on the list. He's number 11, and I don't know how.
Who's the op out here, bro?
Yeah. Are you a Fed, John? Are you a Fed? Anyway, well, like I said, we'll have more on the top 25 list here soon, but. In the meantime, I'll tell you, one thing that could bring all of us together, whether we're Dodgers fans or D-backs fans, is edibles, right?
True.
We can all get together.
I took one
on
earlier
edibles,
today,
right? OG's Brands is the best edible in the state of Arizona. It is actually Arizona's #1 selling edible. And if you are stuck on the decision of what kind of gummies to get, OG's has you covered. What's the problem?
If you want to figure it out now, You can. Espo is, or I don't know if it was Espo, but the site's already been updated. The article's already been updated. So 15 through 11 are out.
There you go. 15 through 11 is already up there. 14 through 11.
So yeah, we'll talk about Luis Gonzalez tomorrow.
Well, we're gonna have to talk about that. But in the meantime, we are still talking about our decision on whether to have the fruits or the creams from our friends at OG's.
I had strawberries and cream for the first time today.
Fantastic.
It's the best flavor. For the longest time, for years, it was the orange creamsicle.
Orange creamsicle is still very good.
For probably like a solid 2-3 years since recreational marijuana was legalized here, the orange creamsicle was my go-to. And then, pink lemonade showed up. It took the cake, and now it was a short-lived reign as the best because they have been dethroned.
Yeah, well, they were also limited edition. I haven't seen the pink lemonade.
That's also true. So I guess they needed to be rethrown.
Yeah, but I will say this: no matter what you choose, there's something magical about OG's gummies. Their gummies are so light and easy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, gummies typically fight back a little bit. They resist. Not OG's. They melt in your mouth. They're absolutely delicious. And we got a melt in your mouth kind of deal because being a PHNX listener just got a whole lot sweeter. Thanks to our buds at OG's Brands. Right now through August 31st, you can get 25% off all 100 milligram bags of the fruits and the creams at all Arizona Flower Shop locations. All you have to do is go to theflowershopusa.com, place an online order, and use discount code PHNX at checkout. You have to do this in order to get the discount. Then you'll just head to your nearest flower shop location to pick up. It's that easy. The deal is exclusive to our PHNX listeners, and a reminder, it's only available for online orders that are picked up in person. So do not miss out on doing it the right way. And we've told you this before, but picking up in a dispensary is by far the best way to go to a dispensary. I know if you're new to this whole game, you might need the assistance of a bud tender, but if you are experienced in this, you don't want to wait in the line. You don't want to wait in the lobby. Just put in your order, go pick it up. Right now, that discount code PHNX is active until August 31st. So go get to flavoring your life. And also, shout out to our friends at Four Peaks, which is the official craft beer of the Arizona Diamondbacks. You can drink a delicious Rattle On Red Ale or any one of their wonderful beers when we meet up for our takeover event, where we will be meeting up at the Four Peaks Draft Room at Chase Field. It's located on the suite level down the first base line in deep right field, and that is where we'll be all hanging out before the game on September 5th for our takeover. You can check out the events page in our show notes to find dates and tickets for that, and you can follow Four Peaks at their calendar at fourpeaks.com/events to stay up to date on everything they have going on over there. You can also check them out on social media at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. Must be 21 years or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly. If you're here right now in the PHNX Sports YouTube channel, whether you're a Diamondbacks fan or a Dodgers fan, forget what these guys say. I love you. Even a Giants fan.
I love you. Yeah. I appreciate you being here, but I'm still going to talk my shit.
He says that, but I don't know about that.
I don't know if I love this John guy.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna come out and say it.
Oh,
I love Maria.
I love Maria. Yeah,
Maria and Mo are great people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah,
the Giants guy needs to. He's
Giants guy was being nice. He called Corbin Carroll MVP, future MVP.
Oh, okay.
He might be cool.
All right.
This Green John guy.
Orange
John is cool.
Take the here's a question. That's a valid question. Take the Dodgers out of it. Who do the D-backs? That's unfair.
You got you. Made you say D-backs. Look at you.
You're a D-bag.
Anyway,
you're a D-bag, John.
We appreciate even John being here in the chat.
I hate the Padres more.
You got Shawn. But I will tell you, subscribe right now. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss when any of the shows go live. Leave us a thumbs up, whether you agree with us or disagree with us. We just like that attention. If you're listening on the audio podcasting side, please leave us a review. Subscribe to us there. We always appreciate all of that as well. Right now, by the way, is the best time to go to gophnx.com and get yourself a Die Hards membership. 48 hours. Sale is on right now. You can get your Die Hard membership for just $60. This is the best deal we've ever had on our Die Hard membership. I tell you all the time all the stuff that it comes with, but of course, you get the $50 gift certificate from Mountain Mike's. You get that free t-shirt or hat from the PHNXLocker.com right there. That's more than $60 in value instantly. So not only do you get that cool care package with all of your Die Hard stuff in there, including your membership card. You also get so many benefits with our partners, discounts. You get members-only merchandise, all sorts of wonderful stuff. So join us today. Get that, gophnx.com. Go to get that Die Hard membership. Get it today. And also, head over to the PHNX Locker, pick out your free item, and then maybe get some more stuff because we have that sale going on as well. We have our t-shirts and hats on sale. I think that's for another 24 hours, so make sure not to miss off our big countdown to kick off sale over at the phnxlocker.com.
I love our chat. So our chat is Leah has said this. It's outside of the Coyotes, obviously. She's taking them out of it. Her favorite chat in the network. Y'all are funny as shit. Y'all are so funny.
Yeah.
Associated with Green John and
Green John and Red John or Green John and Orange John are beefing. You guys can't change your names. We got to have Green John and Orange John. They're reoccurring characters.
Yeah, you guys, this is your nickname.
You have multiple episodes in this show. You cannot leave.
Pedro asks, would that $50 to Mountain Mike's work in Cali? I believe so. I mean, it's a $50 gift certificate for Mountain Mike's, and it is a franchise. So we haven't been specified whether it's one location, but I'll tell you what, I will get an answer for you on that, and I will hopefully have that for you on tomorrow's show. Yeah. Speaking of the show, we have in our green room the one and only Jesse Friedman.
John changed his name. Screw Jesse. John changed his name.
Oh, he's Toilet.
He's Toilet now.
Oh, no. Jesse.
The reoccurring character is gone.
Jesse, things are weird in the chat. This is what happens, I guess, when the Arizona Diamondbacks get pummeled by the Dodgers like they did in such amazing fashion like they did tonight. What's going on there at Dodger Stadium, and what I imagine things aren't super happy with the starting pitching out there.
Yeah, not exactly. Merrill obviously, bummed that this is what happened. Merrill came in 0-10 in his career against the Los Angeles Dodgers. He has yet to earn a win against this team, and after today, he is now 0-11 with a 5.49 ERA. Things have not been pretty for Merrill Kelly in this ballpark against the Dodgers in general. It just has not been a good combination. And he kind of explained why he thought that was. The Dodgers are the kind of team that just doesn't really chase out of the zone all that much. And Merrill Kelly sort of makes his living on that, right? He doesn't have the kind of stuff that necessarily plays in the zone quite as well. So he's trying to get you to swing it, change-ups, down off the plate. He's trying to get you to swing it and sliders off the plate, that kind of thing. And his command was certainly not there tonight. His just general ability to execute pitches was not there tonight. That combined with the Dodgers already being, one of the best teams in the sport at avoiding swinging at those kinds of pitches, it just, continues to be sort of a losing combination. Merrill actually did pitch pretty well against the Dodgers earlier this month. I think it was on August 9th. He had a start at home against the Dodgers, 6 scoreless innings in that one, only 2 strikeouts. But the results were good overall. And after that outing, he was asked, do you feel like you've like turned a corner or something facing this Dodgers team? And he was like, well, this is only one outing. For all I know, I'm going to give up 17 runs the next time I face him.
Oh, no.
Fortunately, it was not 17 runs, but it was 7 runs over 5 innings. Far from ideal for Merrill Kelly and the Diamondbacks tonight.
Obviously, it doesn't sound like there's any injury concerns, but I do know that Merrill was maybe trying a new hydration regimen. Any chance he had too much water?
He had to pee the whole time.
Was it too much water? Is this like? Do I have a new thing to worry about with you telling you to drink too much water?
I don't think so. He spoke highly afterwards of the work that he did with the nutritionist and taking care of that issue. He said that not even the thought of having cramping issues even entered his mind during this game. So that was not at all a contributor to his struggles in this game. It was just the Dodgers continuing to be one of the best offenses in the game, and things haven't been great for either Gallen or Merrill in this series. You look at their numbers combined: 10 1/3 innings, 21 hits, 13 runs. All of those earned 6 walks, 4 strikeouts. Those are astounding numbers against one of the best 1-2 punches in the sport up to this point in the season in Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly. The Dodgers have made it look easy the last couple of days.
Is this one of those situations where you feel like it's more of the Dodgers just coming in here as hot as they've been? The Diamondbacks are not the only team that the Dodgers have absolutely outclassed over the last 2 weeks. So it really feels more maybe like the Dodgers were just kind of on a roll versus the Diamondbacks really looking as bad as especially tonight looked.
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers are just in a different class, right? The Reds are a decent team. The Reds are a good team. but the Reds are not the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I know a lot of people, I think, have been kind of hit with that reality. The D-backs have held their own against some of the better teams in the league in the last couple weeks, right? They swept the Texas Rangers, and the Padres were a team that, I think that team has a lot more talent on their roster than their record indicates. But this Dodgers team is not only extremely talented, but very much clicking on all cylinders right now, as you said. So yeah, it's tough. I mean, I asked Zach Gallen yesterday, how good is this team? How good is this lineup? And he talked about seeing a stat about, the Dodgers having the best record since the trade deadline. And I haven't looked that up myself, but that feels like it's probably true. Them in the Mariners, I imagine, would probably be up at the top of that list. But this is just an incredible baseball team. And, the D-backs losing 2 out of 3 here, or whatever the result winds up being, the Dodgers are the Dodgers. What happened?
I'm sorry, Jesse. I don't mean to be dying.
Dude, our chat, man.
There's a battle between guys named John going on in the chat, and one gentleman changed his name to Toilet and now realized that he's stuck with the name Toilet for the next 14 days, apparently according to YouTube's terms and agreement. So that's hilarious, nice. And that's what I'm laughing about. Definitely not laughing about the pathetic performance by the Diamondbacks tonight out there in LA. But speaking of Los Angeles teams that are on the opposite end of the spectrum from the Dodgers being as good as they are, the Los Angeles Angels look like absolute fools, and we can at least be thankful that we are not fans of that team, right? Because this waiver madness that has occurred today is something. And I just, I'm kind of flabbergasted by what the Angels did. Here is the tweet. According to Jeff Passan, the Angels have placed starting pitcher Lucas Giolito, relief pitchers Matt Moore and Reynaldo Lopez, outfielder Hunter Renfroe, and outfielder Randall Grichuk on waivers, making them available to teams in contention. Jesse, what's going on with the Los Angeles Angels?
I mean, to be fair, they're not the only ones. There are a number of other teams that made some moves here as well. I also think Dominic Leone was later reported as being part of this group. His name isn't even here. But yeah, focusing on the Angels for a second. I mean, they literally did in one day. I mean, they put about a quarter of their roster on waivers, and it only compounds the issue, knowing that the Angels, not more than a month ago, expended like some serious organizational assets in order to get some of these guys. Like they traded a pretty darn good catching prospect to get Lucas Giolito. He joins the team. He had an ERA of about 7. I think it's high 6s, 6 or 7 starts, something like that. And now the Angels are turning around and putting him on waivers, and he's just going to walk, and they're not going to get anything other than, just not having to pay that portion of his salary the rest of the way. So yeah, it is. The full picture is absolutely abysmal. I will say, I guess there's something to be said for, sort of cutting your losses. Like, I think we all know that the Angels are not going to make the playoffs at this point. So it's maybe not worth it. Yeah, they have an opportunity to potentially get under the luxury tax threshold by doing all of these moves, by getting this money off of their books. So it sort of does make sense in a way from their standpoint now, but the full picture, the optics are absolutely horrible, giving away what they did to get some of those guys and now just letting them walk.
What do you think this means for Shohei? Or do you think this means anything for Shohei? Like, do you think this has any attachment to that? Either the fact that they're like, you're cutting costs when you're about to have to pay this man the biggest contract in baseball history, or they're cutting costs so they can pay this man the biggest contract in baseball history? Or maybe
I was talking with some people today about like, well, why did the Angels stop there? I mean, all these guys are on expiring contracts and they put them on waivers. Why didn't the Angels just put Shohei Ohtani on waivers? As long as they're trying to save money, right? He's on an expiring contract too. Suffice it to say that would have been taken significantly worse than these moves were. But yeah, I don't think it necessarily says much. I mean, to be honest, I don't really think the Angels have a I don't think they have a great chance to bring Shohei back at this point, given the way that their season is materialized. And, they were trying to push in the chips and see if they could make a playoff push, see if they could convince Shohei Ohtani to stick around. I think the future of their franchise very much hinges in some ways on that happening. It made sense for them to go all in, but it didn't work. And, at this point, trying to cut some costs down the stretch, get below the luxury tax threshold, I think that is a sensible move, but it doesn't really, to me, it doesn't say much of anything about what's going to happen with Ohtani this winter. Mm-hmm. Chances are he's probably going elsewhere no matter what.
And like you said, they weren't the only team that made some cuts today. Mike Clevinger was released or waived by the White Sox. Jurickson Profar waived by the Rockies. Carlos Carrasco waived by the Mets. So, there's a lot of guys available out there. One thing I believe, who was it? Carlos IP said that the Diamondbacks are playing a little 4D chess with this loss, right? You got Jose Herrera out there pitching against the Dodgers, right? They're dropping back below the Giants. They want to just get one more game back, maybe get back below the Reds, just so they can pick up some of these guys on the waiver wire.
Yeah, well, if Jose Herrera starts tomorrow's game, that's right?
Then lift him boil that's really come out.
Then they're tipping their hands a little too much. It is a weird position. I don't know how much you guys have maybe talked about this already, but the way that this process works is these waiver claims are going to be processed in reverse order of record. So the worst record you have, that's what's going to decide. So Lucas Giolito's out there. Some number of teams is going to put a waiver claim on Lucas Giolito. Out of all those teams, the team with the worst record, that's the team, the worst record of that group. That's the team that's going to come away with that guy. And I did some digging today, and it appears that there is no limit. There is no limit on this process. So if the Miami Marlins, who are a contender that is still on the fringes of the postseason picture, but they also have a worse record than basically all of the other teams in contention.
They could get all these guys.
The Marlins on Thursday could have Lucas Giolito, Hunter Renfroe, Mike Clevinger. They could put in claims on all these guys, and chances are they could get just about whoever they want. The flip side of that is that, number one, you do have to assume the salaries of whatever player you get. So it's your responsibility as the claiming team to pay that. So if you put in 5 waiver claims, you might not get all those guys, but you better be prepared to pay all those salaries if somehow you do get those guys. And the other part of this is you have to be prepared to make roster moves. You're going to have to clear space on your 40-man roster for however many guys you get. So if you're the D-backs, this isn't just a matter of all right, let's put in 17 waiver claims and see what happens. Because if 12 of those wind up hitting, suddenly you have to clear 30% of the guys on your 40-man roster, which obviously they wouldn't be able to do that. So you have to kind of weigh, all right, how good are these guys compared to what we already have in-house? Who are the guys we'd be willing to part with? And who are the guys that we want to make sure we hold on to no matter what? So it is a little bit of a delicate balance in some ways, but it's also straight madness in other ways where, there's no limit. Teams can just put in however many claims they want, and may the worst team win.
Yeah, the idea of taking a flyer on Giolito hits a lot different. Well, it hits a lot different if you're waiving someone at the bottom of the roster. It also hits a lot different if you end up waiving a Zach Davies or a Nick Ahmed or something like that. Then we probably could pick me up on waivers. If it meant cutting one of those two, the fans would probably be happy.
Yeah, I could ride the pine, and as long as I'm taking one of their roster spots, I'll be fine with it. I think it was Austin back there in the chat. He had said waiver claims are going to be absolute chaos this next week. That's absolutely true. Austin also made some fucking insane comment about James Outman being better than Corbin Carroll, and you're going to act like we didn't see that earlier in there? I mean, if we want to do this now, we could just do this now. We're ready to do this at all times. We have this stat ready to go at all fucking times, you guys.
There's just not a whole lot to say here. All I'm saying is if for the people on audio, this is a direct head-to-head comparison of Corbin Carroll versus James Outman over their careers.
Yeah, and more importantly, the little green fucking sections,
there's just
those denote where Corbin Carroll, where one guy is better than the other guy. And it's just, I know it might be confusing because the entire Corbin Carroll side is green, but we just wanted to fucking put it up there in case we wanted to have this discussion, because Corbin Carroll's coming for that on-base percentage too. He's going to take everything from James Outman, including his happiness.
Yeah, I just want to put that out there. I just want to put that out there.
All right.
I mean, I don't have much to add to
Anything
that.
else?
It's just the fact of the matter is that
All right.
Corbin Carroll is quite literally better than James Outman in every way. He's also more attractive.
Better than most of us in every way.
He makes more money. He drives faster cars.
Yeah.
He gets more attractive men or women, depending on what they're into. He's just better in every single way.
He's just better in every way. He's just a better human being than us. I mean, and he's nicer to us than we are to him. That's the fucking weirdest part.
He's a better person than James Outman.
He's better in every way. Jesse, you made some comments, though, about Merrill Kelly on the Dodgers, and we actually have this clip that you provided with us of Merrill Kelly on what it's like to face this Dodgers team.
Where does that take you?
He said that he believes in me.
He believes in you.
Against the Dodgers.
Against the Dodgers.
I mean, I believe in myself against the Dodgers. You know, I believe against myself against any team. I just think this is a team that you can't really afford to have an off night. Unfortunately, I've had a fair amount of games like that. But they do a good job of controlling the zone. They do a good job of not swinging at balls. You know, I kind of make my money on trying to live on the edges and get people to swing it. Maybe balls that they shouldn't, trying to get the weak contact, that type of stuff. And this team does a good job of not doing that. So if I'm not doing a good job of throwing strikes consistently and throwing quality strikes, you know, like I said, I'm going to have some bad days against these guys. But you know, I go into every game thinking I'm going to win. It's not like I ever go against the Dodgers, man, just chalking it up as, well, let's just get my head kicked in and walk out of here. Every game I anticipate going 9 innings with no runs. That's just kind of the mindset. But, you know, like I said, it's a good team over there, and they're playing well right now.
That whole the whole believe in yourself there thing at the beginning was a bit odd. I mean,
yeah, that was there's some context that's probably helpful there. So Torrey was asked in our interview prior to talking with Merrill. Torrey was asked, just about kind of what he's seen from Merrill pitching against the Dodgers and how he feels about that matchup. And Torrey, of course, being Torrey, comes out and says, "I believe in him. I believe in Merrill Kelly going against the Dodgers, despite what some of the numbers may say." So Todd Walsh, our friend from the broadcast, was explaining Torrey's comment to Merrill. So Merrill's just kind of clarifying there at the beginning. He's making sure he understood what Torrey said. Merrill is agreeing with Torrey that he believes in himself against the Dodgers as well, even though the numbers, continue to
the numbers don't believe in him.
Yeah, the numbers have considerably less belief than either Torrey or Merrill. This is true.
We talked about this series not necessarily being something you needed to look at as a must win, but you could say that every game, every series is a must win for the Diamondbacks as they approach the end of September. I mean, what are we trying to salvage here? Do you think? I mean, is it still good to get out of LA with one? I mean, do we care? Does it matter? Like, what are your thoughts on just the way the Diamondbacks have kind of been outclassed in these first two games?
It does. It's like if you win tomorrow, then it's fine. It's kind of the sense that I get. Coming in and winning a series at Dodger Stadium is very, very difficult. Bobby Miller and Clayton Kershaw are two of their better starters as well. It's not just the D-backs having their two best guys. So, I don't think you needed to come in and win this series necessarily to feel good about the future. A sweep would be a bit of a gut punch, though. The D-backs have obviously been playing really, really well over the last couple weeks. So, we'll see if they're able to find a way to turn things around tomorrow. Brandon Pfaadt faced the Dodgers in that series as well a few weeks ago at Chase Field. Pitched really well through the front 4 innings, I want to say. Things kind of fell apart for him in the 5th. But this is a different Brandon Pfaadt that we've seen the last few times out. So, we'll see if he's able to come in here and do what Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly have not been able to do, which is to just give the Diamondbacks a chance to win.
I know it's kind of loser energy, but it does feel like one win in this series is like a push.
Yeah,
like it does very much feel like
I hate
it almost
that,
feels
right.
like. Especially now that they've lost too. Obviously, if you can win tomorrow, it almost feels like you won the series. Like it
especially
feels like
the games you lost. You lost the starts of Zach.
Yeah,
Gallen
like it
and
almost
Merrill
feels
Kelly.
like you're like okay, because like we had talked about it yesterday on yesterday's show, like kind of the floor and ceiling for this team for the rest of the season, and we had talked about them, the 10 losses being the I guess the ceiling, or the other way around. Yeah, whatever. And but regardless, we knew they were going to lose games. They weren't going to win every single one of these games remaining in the season, and those losses were most likely going to come against the Dodgers. They're the best team that they play. Yeah. So, they
have some very tough series left, and we've talked about how many games they have left against wild card opponents, but they still have the Astros on their schedule. They still have, I believe, another series with the Padres. There's still a lot of games.
I don't think there's any more Padres.
Okay.
No. That Astros series will be interesting because coming into the season, you're like, oh, you're facing the Astros for the last 3 games of the series. Clearly the Astros are just going to be resting their guys because they're going to be leading the AL West by 27 games, right?
Right.
But that's not the case right now. I believe the Astros, Rangers, and Mariners are in a 3-way tie atop the AL West right now.
Yeah.
So that'll be something to watch. If you're a D-backs fan, you kind of want the Astros to gain some separation, either atop that division or fall so far behind in that division that they don't really have much to play for by the time that series comes around. That would probably help the Diamondbacks a lot.
The series I was thinking about is this upcoming series with the Orioles this weekend at Chase Field.
That's tough.
A very, very tough team. Right. Then, like I said, they have the 7 games left with the Cubs. They have some easier teams in a 4-game series with the Mets and a 3-game series with the White Sox. Weird to even be saying that about a series with the Mets. And I don't even know if that's an easy series because the Mets seem to be a difficult team.
Did you leave out a series there?
No, I did not. I was going to say the last but not least, they have that series with that poverty franchise known as the New York Yankees.
Motherfucking Yankees, who I don't know. Have you guys heard the news?
What's the news?
They're dog shit. They're terrible.
Oh, no.
They're just not good.
Yeah, we have kind of.
They're not
that. I've heard
good.
That. I've heard this team's historically bad. For
below
the
500. I don't know if you knew that. I don't know if you knew that.
We've heard.
They got less wins than the Miami motherfucking Marlins. Yeah. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
I have to ask Shawn. Shawn, do you want Josh Donaldson on this Diamondbacks team now that
Josh Donaldson is my least favorite Yankee ever. He is genuinely one of my least favorite.
Why do I feel like I could say the name of any Yankees player?
Ask him if he wants Cam Newton on the coaching staff.
No. Go look up Josh Donaldson's interactions with Tim Anderson, and I'll tell you, you'll know why he's my least favorite Yankee ever. He's a piece of shit.
Not a great clubhouse guy.
Yeah, so fuck him. He can enjoy retirement.
There you go.
I also want to say the idea of an interleague winner makes the playoffs, loser goes home, end of the season series between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Houston Astros is just an insane thought.
That's crazy.
It's an insane thought that the Arizona Diamondbacks, even if the rest of the season goes terribly, they might be in a position to kick the defending champions out of the postseason or out of postseason contention.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's a fun life to live.
It's going to be exciting. Well, Jesse, we will be back here at this time tomorrow night. Jesse will still be in LA, so he'll be joining us. And we'll be doing this again. Another 7:10 p.m. game for the finale. Hopefully Brandon Falk can get the job done.
Yeah, we'll see. The last couple days haven't been great here in Diamondbacks land. So
you're not in Diamondbacks land, by the way.
What's with the 7:10 starts? Is this a thing where they tell the people in LA that it starts at 6:40, but it actually starts at 7:10,
that's
so they
how
get
you
there
get
in
them
time?
to actually show up.
What's with the late starts?
Yes, that's exactly.
No, they tell them 7:10, and that's why they show up at 7:40, right?
Okay. Fucking A.
All right, Jesse. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, see you guys.
All right. Well, that sucked. But like you said, if the Diamondbacks could somehow make the best of this series by winning tomorrow's game, then things don't look so bad.
I'm sorry. Behind the curtain real quick, I did not know that Notion had a desktop app.
And now you're just now noticing
noticing that you use a desktop app.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's hot.
Wow.
Yeah.
The things that we use to run our entire company, basically, I've always been on the browser.
Oh, that seems terrible. That's a bad idea.
Really tough.
Yeah. That's on you.
You can go back to doing what you're doing.
That's an E9,
what the people actually care about. That's just
what people care about.
What's that?
Is eating and drinking good food.
That is who
doesn't? Who doesn't?
That is a very human being. The people do care about that.
Right.
The people.
The people. But not just for nourishment. Yes, food can be for nourishment, so can drinking, but it can also be for fun. And that's what Illegal Pete's provides is the fun. They have an amazing patio area. Patio season is strong here in Arizona. It lasts very long, and it might be coming up soon. We don't know when it starts.
It comes and goes sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, like,
if it's
patio
below
season's
100,
gonna
it's
be
patio
here for
season,
like it's
they
gonna
got
be here for
misters,
like 4 or
dog.
5 days.
Misters and an ice cold margarita.
Come on,
below 100 degrees I'm outside.
What more do you need? What more do you need? Maybe some
Let me get
irresistible
some of those days
food.
here and there.
Maybe some bowls. Maybe a taco.
You're gonna be drinking
maybe
straight
a burrito.
queso.
Yeah, piping hot
Crust.
queso.
Also,
Delicious.
they got the cooler. Not that this is like a proprietary illegal Pete's thing, but they've got Mexican Coca-Colas there, and there is no better way to enjoy Mexican food than with a Mexican Coca-Cola.
Leche in Mexico colas.
And it's pure cane sugar,
That's
so
right.
like it is different.
It's
Than
the real
it is
stuff.
not just like
It's the real stuff.
it is a different recipe. So get in on it
Yeah.
at Illegal Pete's.
Carlos just made me sad because he brought up the Dodgers picking up Josh Donaldson and him having a 900 OPS.
Banned.
He's probably
Ban him.
wrong.
Ban him.
No, I like Carlos.
I
Carlos
will
can't go
physically
anywhere.
fist fight Josh
No,
Donaldson
yeah,
in that
but-
situation.
Yeah,
I will have to. I will have a physical. Like if Josh Donaldson was in the room, I'd call him a piece of shit
It'll
to his
be the
face.
Acuna situation yesterday, except Sean.
It will be.
Sean,
By,
he'll
it will be.
tackling
It
him.
will be an
He
attack.
won't be hugging anybody.
He's
He
a
won't
piece
be
of
hugging anybody. By the way, again, Illegal Pete's. It's your place to go watch baseball. It's a great place to watch baseball.
is.
It's also your go-to spot this summer. Stop by for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. every day at all 12 locations. Illegal Pete's, the place for burritos, buddies, and beers for 28 years. And last but not least, give a shout out to our friends over at Saturday Neon, which is an incredible company that was started by two friends and former college roommates that make officially licensed collegiate logo LED neon signs. And right now, if you are a supporter of that school down south,
Can I snitch real quick
please do.
on Toe Tree?
What, did he break
Sorry.
the sign?
No, he was standing out there in front of the sign. He kind of like just put his hands on his hips. He's like, "Fuck, that's a good looking."
It's a
sign. I
good
hate
looking
it.
sign. Yeah.
Such a good logo.
It's a
good sign.
No, it's a quality made
It
sign.
makes a bad logo look amazing.
The logo is kind of dog shit, but that's not Saturday Neon's fault.
They just like they were
They are
like they were like,
doing-
"Oh, first letter in the alphabet. We don't got to look any further."
Yeah, and red,
Lame
white, and
loser.
blue. That's an easy
Oh, yeah,
color
where do we
scheme
get-
to
I
come
wonder
up
where-
with.
yeah.
But they also do great schools from around the nation, including Colorado, Alabama, Wisconsin, Auburn, and many others. They are great for offices.
Auburn. That's a logo.
That's a logo.
That's a logo.
That's a real
That's
logo.
a logo.
Yeah, that's a real logo.
You guys feel good about yourselves?
Yeah,
we
so
really,
good.
we really
So
do.
good.
So good every time we do this read. But
Well, a good
Alabama?
logo has more than one letter. I'm so sorry.
Alabama?
Yeah.
That's
That's
a
a
great logo.
fucking-
that's a
It's a
logo.
great logo.
The
That's
script
now that's an
just
A.
in pure white,
When you
that's
say
class.
there's an A, that's an A.
That's
That's how you draw
Right
an
when
A.
you and I know this is a Diamondbacks podcast, but you say, "Oh, an A logo in the MLB." Diamondbacks are the last one you're thinking of. You think of the script days. You think you go either Oakland or you go.
How did this become
I'm
about
sorry.
attacking the Diamondbacks?
But I
I
would
don't
argue that the
understand what's
Diamondbacks
happening
A
here.
logo is one of the best logos in baseball.
He's absolutely right.
You're nor there.
Yeah, no,
So
buy
just
a
'cause it's
neon
not
sign from
recognizable.
Saturday Neon.
Get a sign.
They're so good.
They're great.
Regardless of the
They
logo,
make
they're
great
gonna
gifts.
you could make it a shit emoji. If it's a neon light, I'm putting it up on my wall. I
Oh,
love.
that would
neon
be.
lights.
I would think of Totri every time I looked at that. That's what he is in my phone. He's a little poop emoji. Anyway, go to SaturdayNeon.com and use code PHNX for 10% off your order. Free shipping for all orders over $200. And they'll have some they'll have some better schools than just that one and the other ones that they make, like ASU.
Hey, Warhawk. War Eagle. Excuse me. War Eagle.
There you go. That's all we got for you guys tonight.
Roll Tide.
We hope you had. I hope that we made your night better after this 9-1 loss. Or for some of you Dodgers fans, we love you guys. We hope you night was decent. I
You
guess.
know who else has a really good logo?
Who?
Fucking Appalachian State.
Oh my God.
That's a logo and a half.
If Saturday Neon gets Appalachian State before ASU, I will be furious.
Oh no, I'm buying 5.
I will be furious.
Best
but,
logo in college football.
follow us on Twitter. I'm at cap_caveman with a K. This maniac next to me is at Shawn_DePaz.
Giant fucking
The
troll.
maniac behind the Mac is Damon, I believe. Right? We are Damon's dogs.
Yes.
You can follow Damon at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. Jesse is at Jesse N. Friedman. Of course, our show is at PHNX _D-backs, but all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you guys so much for being here. We thank you for being hilarious in our chat. Shout out
y'all made tonight fun.
shout out to all of you guys for making tonight
Red
fun.
John,
Shout out
Green
specifically
John.
the
Red
Johns,
the Johns,
Toilet
toilet
for the next
That's
14 days.
Green
true.
John and toilet for the
I
next
can't wait.
Toilet.
That first comment from Toilet under John again is going to be liberating. It's going to be like when Nelson Mandela got out of prison.
I can't wait till he breaks
It's going to
out.
feel. It's going to be a great moment.
I'd like to personally apologize to Maria for sending
You
her
should.
out of the show
You
by
should.
saying I hate the Dodgers.
That was crazy.
Which
Out of all the
apparently is
stuff
for
we've
no
said,
reason, apparently.
and out of all the stuff we've said,
Yeah. Good. You
Anyway.
guys should feel bad about yourselves. Anyway, we thank you for your time. You guys
Leave
are
a like.
wonderful. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when Merrill Kelly eventually beats the Dodgers.